Hello and welcome everyone. Here we grow your wings, which carry you home where you come from. Do you know where you come from? It's always good to know, because then you'll know where you are and you'll know where to go, so you will be prepared. If you'd like to get help release your karma, learn how to complete your life lessons in order to move into the next level of awareness, sign up for this upcoming workshop. Choose which week works best for you. You will find all the details in the description box and in the previous video. If you have questions, make sure to comment or email. In this video, we're going to talk about these frequent rapture dreams, prophecies that people claim to see. Why is this happening? And are they really seeing what they're saying they're seeing? Let's go to this scripture in Acts 2:17. Depending on the translation you'll read, it will go like this. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So let's break it down piece by piece. It shall come to pass in the last days. People think that this is the end of everything. It's not, and it can't be. It is not the end of humanity, because humanity is child, a race created in the image of God. It shall live forever. Not every soul can embody that, but those that can, they will. So it says there, they will inherit the new earth, the old shall pass away, and the new will be given to them. This is for those who can. The last days, not of the planet, because the planet is still relatively young. She still has many more cycles to go to learn herself as well as teach humanity. The planet has experienced various cycles, eons, systems of things, epochs, and we're living through the times where this aeon is concluding. It is not necessarily time as we know, as in 24 hours in a day and what the hour is and what the minute is. It has to do with timeline and the vibration of each human along with their relationship with the planet, with the cosmos, with their creator. It is not necessarily calculative, because the stars and the heavenly bodies also have their own opinions, and they do maneuver and they do move. This is how you get comets, astrological events, and so on and so forth. The conclusion of this system of things, just like in, let's say, dinosaurs, in Noah's days, it is always with what we call calamities. Why? Because the surface needs to change. We're used to the continents and what they look like and what the countries are and what nationalities are. But if this does not go along with the plan of how humanity is supposed to live, it will give time, free will, to learn, to reconstruct. And if they can't, and if they hurt their host, the host needs to make changes. And Jesus did help. Many of you were there with him, and you were there after he transitioned or changed. So it would be easier for you to tap into this internal knowledge that he seeded in you, to remember, to not fear these calamities. But as you are tuned in to this Christ intelligence, it would tell you, move out from here, don't vacation there, don't go there, stay here, or go there. It will tell you. We're living in the times where we don't know which volcano is going to erupt, where the earthquake is going to happen, where the flash flood is going to happen. We don't know, because it's not only the planet's natural disasters, it is also the ones triggered by certain machines, artificially, so to speak. And these ones go by what their lords want to do. There might come a time where the machines will start producing something that they don't expect, which of course is going to be disastrous, and this is why relationship with God will always let you know where to go, where not to go. And that is pouring out the Spirit upon all flesh, meaning the light descends, the Holy Spirit, the Christ consciousness descends all the way through the crystalline structure of your DNA. We are having our veils thin and gently removed in order for us to remember. We'll be more open to this guidance. So yes, it will be poured. Now maybe back then they didn't have a word for this complicated expression, DNA. Was it Paul? Speaking of the molecular reconstruction, where each molecule will remember its light. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. When you have the light descend through your core, you are no longer bound to time that is accepted by human construct of 24 hours. You live in no time. So you don't see past, you don't see present, and you don't see future as you comprehend past, present, and future. It is all in the now. So it is very common to see that. And in this upcoming workshop, we're going to do a meditation where we're going to see our near most probable future. Through the experiences, you'll learn kindness, compassion. Through the experiences, you'll learn your relationship with Christ. This has nothing to do with any religion. He said before Abraham was, I am. Christ, Logos, the power of life that everything was created through, is within our blood. It's within our breath. Religion was created based on their understanding of it, and it was changed and altered in many ways. I always advise to go back to the source. You don't need the middleman. Go to the source. So go straight to God. Many in the churches, they don't even read the Bible. They just read the literature that was written by somebody. That somebody may not have read the Bible at all, or they may not even understand what they're reading. The advantage now is that, like he says, I will pour my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. So you have more opportunity to see it for yourself. It's not that difficult. All you have to do is just get yourself into a comfortable mental environment where you don't think about other things. You pray and you want to connect to your Creator. And you just read. Allow the words open up to give you the fruit, the result. It is not about the translation. It's about, shall we call it, the meaning of the message. It will go straight into your heart because your heart will always resonate with that message. Your heart, it is an aspect of God's heart. So it will connect like a puzzle coming together. Seeing the past, present, future, people tend to call it prophesy. Everyone needs to know that prophecies don't have to happen. They can be changed. If you have a warning that if humanity continues on this path, it will lead to this, this, and that. If we sit and wait, then yes, this prophecy will happen because we didn't do anything different. But if we change, then the outcome will change. So the prophecy is not to sit and allow it to happen. It is like advice. Do something about it before this happens. But people tend to rely on the artificial advice of just tell the people, let them hear it, let them soil themselves, let us weep together and just see this calamity take place. But this is not why it's shown. It is like parenting. Don't do this or this will happen. Oh yeah? Well, let's see. This is what humanity is doing. And of course, there has been interference from somewhere else. But humanity is a child of God. We have great advantage when we pray. We have great advantage in this understanding that through our relationship with God, we can change it, and it does not have to happen this way. But because humanity is taught to separate, to compete, and to step on another to gain what they want, because people like to bother other people for their own advantage, it's difficult to come together. Then we're encouraged to work on ourselves individually, and that would require a lot of facing self and becoming comfortable with the truth of you. That would require eliminating anything artificial that was imposed from childhood, from past lives, and even recent years through the technology and how things are supposed to be. It is very easy to program a human mind. Let's say if 10 people do something in the similar way, using similar words, then that's how it's supposed to be. And if one person does it a completely different way, that something is wrong with them. Humanity does not think, well, what if I need to think for myself and not follow how it is commonly accepted? What if that is the distraction? And this is what you see. So people start genuine, but then something goes inside the brain where it maneuvers like a nanotechnology. It starts very slowly and it penetrates through the tissues of the brain. Do this or don't do that, and hurry, 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 more. Go first, be first, catch it. They're influencing others by being this neurotic. They're warping their soul. There's only a matter of time that they're gonna spend here, but the soul needs to evolve. And you are the soul. It's not like you separate from it. So whether you realize it or not, you do feel soul's pain. This is when the depression or uncomfortable mental anxiety happens. On the other hand, the viewer doesn't understand the trend. It would be addiction. Addiction to people's opinions, what happens in the political world. And they can watch it for hours. And they don't know whether these are original opinions or paid opinions. In either way, they're not the viewer's opinions, so why waste time and get influenced? There's another trend, people watching tarot readings or twin flame readings. These are fake. It has nothing to do with the true twin flame, love. It has nothing to do with the original meaning of tarot. The ancient way of reading is not on YouTube. When something originates through time and space, it changes and it alters to influence a human to create bigger and bigger distance from its creator. So in order for you to break that gap, you have to go back to the source. So if you have been watching for years, for months, for days, hours and hours upon these illusions, then you are living in this illusion. If you want to wake up, do something about it. Get your finger off that button and get back to the source. These trends are done for a big reason. Before it was hours long programs, right? Then they became shorter. And then they break into the musical forms, into smiley face, into animal funny something. It is all promoted for a reason to cause artificial emotion, like a well, to dig a hole within the human system so that they would artificially fill it up emotionally, so that when it drains, they have to click on this type videos in order to fill up that well. And that well is like a hole in the heart, where it's leaking love for self, love for God, love for nature, love for family, love for anything that is genuine. And it creates addiction, dependence on something artificial. So that is, in the book of Revelation, the beast, where people will be marked on the hand, on the forehead. Yes, in the hand, because carrying the device in the hand and constantly clicking, that number is on the hand. Or thinking about it, that is the number on the forehead. So many are already marked. If you don't want to be marked, get off it. Go into nature. Get marked as natural, not artificial. People who are triggering other people's emotions by these rapture dreams, by these prophecies, they're affecting the nerves. You can't just live your life day to day not having a desire to learn or expand and then just get raptured. It doesn't work this way. Because even in our society, we have places where it's applicable for this age, or let's say places where this age group will get bored, or another age group will get bored, but other age group gets very interested. This has to do with the development. Same thing happens with the spiritual development. You can't just go into the new earth not prepared. You have to be completely purified through the experiences. You have to have the wisdom. You have to have the knowledge embodied. It is not good enough to have it in the brain, let's say, to read all kinds of stories and keep it in your mind. You have to embody it. You have to become it. So this is what means the second coming of Christ. You have to become Christed. And what that does, it raises the vibration of your body, of your being, along with others who do the similar, and it affects the planet as well as she's working on it, where when it reaches the totality around the world, I'm not saying all the people, the totality meaning specific vibration of these specific individuals along with their relationship with the planet, to move into the new. This is why it will be much less a number than the current population. Because if you look around, many people are not interested. They don't have to be interested. We have free will. Jesus also said, many will be calling, Lord, Lord, and he will say, get away from me, I never knew you. Some of them are going to be that. So then, let's continue to the next part of this verse. And young men shall see visions, and old men shall dream dreams. There you go, the visions and the dreams. See, not everybody remembers their dreams, but we all dream. Why? Because when the body goes to sleep, your spirit gotta go somewhere. It can't just sit and wait. It loves learning. This is why during the day people get depressed and anxious and they turn to substances or they turn to specific places to help them get happy. The majority of people, they could be physically active, but emotionally very, very lazy. So it is not about I'm busy, I don't have time. It is about priority. And so if you place your relationship with God priority, then when the time comes, you will be prioritized. It just works this way not because God chooses one person over another. It's because by this specific time frame, this person matches this new vibration. And if they don't match, they have to go somewhere. Dispersed. Therefore, there is no judgment in that sense, but judgment in the sense of putting everyone where they belong. If someone hates themselves and they hate another human, how can they go into the new earth? The whole idea of going to the new earth is so people are compassionate with each other, are not afraid of each other, so that they are open and vulnerable, knowing that no one will take advantage of them. No one who is addicted to social media can possibly go to the new earth because they will get severely depressed. These platforms, they don't exist there because it's a part of this system, it's a part of this artificiality. When the new earth is all natural, it's divine. Just like this planet was originally supposed to be, but as we know from the stories in Genesis, there was interference. So it would take thousands and thousands of years to correct it. This is what Jesus was talking about. He came to help us move into the new earth. It's been 2000 years and people are claiming they think that this is soon, this is soon. They don't realize that that which interfered is also aware. Hello? Just like it created a lot of artificiality, it can also create something else artificial that people are expecting on a grand scale. One more time. Hello? Anybody there? This is why relationship with God is gonna let you know, is this real? This is why people turn to substances. Nothing you sniff, nothing you drink is gonna open you up to be closer to God. It opens a different type of portal that you'd see entities. This does not guarantee that you are connecting to God. The only way is the natural way. It's already inside your DNA. You don't need anything to alter your mind or to change you in order for your conscious mind to say this is it. If anything, the conscious mind is severely programmed. In order for it to expand, it has to be mastered. It needs to be evolving as well. But it cannot be evolving if it's being influenced by various forces. These forces are polluting the soil, the water, the air, the information. And once again, always go back to the source. If you want to read the Bible, but you don't trust the translation, get a couple of translations. Go back to the original, word by word. Call on Jeshua. It goes back to also trusting source energy that is breathing you. Now, many people, it is not a rapture dream. They're being poured this new energy, this light, and because they're sleeping, it is on the spirit side. It is the soul energy that is descending into them. God's energy that is descending on a soul level, soul energy, into them. And because it is not bound to the earthly realm, it would have to be lifted. And because they're connected to the body, it would be seen as in lifted out of the body. So they think this is a rapture dream. It is actually infusion of God's energy into the body. And when you get into the spirit realm, the more open you are, the more genuine you are, the stronger connection to Jeshua, to Christ, to God, to the cosmos, the more you will see, and so you will see visions. If you are to warn people, if you are to see something to avoid or to change something in your life, that means you are asked to instruct people, not to scare them, because people love fear anyway. So how do you change this fear-mongering? You instruct, you help, you assist, you guide into something kinder. And it will always be the free will of the person, of the listener, of the viewer. If the viewer likes destruction, war, explosion, to see those mushroom clouds and everything, this is the reality they choose. If you've been watching it, hear it. You unconsciously want this outcome. So if consciously you say, no, 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 I want love and I want peace, then change it. If you are constantly thinking about silliness, then the silly reality is what you want. Then that's what you'll get. If you want authenticity, if you want to be purified where you're not going to be scared in the presence of the benevolence, in the presence of the purity of Christ, then work towards it. And that means spending more time doing something natural. Spending time with your family. Spending time in nature. Spending time with your loved ones. Listening to healthy music. Reading healthy information. And it's always back to the source, how it was intended originally. You know, if you help out in the kitchen and everybody cooks dinner and eats dinner together, people get closer together. People are more open-hearted with each other. Genuine. It is true love between family members, soulmates, peace in the neighborhood, and so on. And it expands. But if people do a lot of takeouts and everybody eats by themselves, separately, and everybody is on their device, this is not only separation from God, but it's separation from everyone else. And these are quote-unquote solutions that were given to humanity. It's a trend. So of course, once in a while, if you have to, this is understandable. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about behavioral pattern, if it already caused a result. It is not old-fashioned to be family-oriented. It is not old-fashioned to cook. It is normal. It is natural. Basically, people are going to be divided into natural and artificial, whether artificial by technology or merging with it, physically or mentally, just thinking about it constantly, or natural. It is like that separation. But because two cannot live together, so for example, those who are marked, they can't stand being authentic with their family members. And those who are family-oriented, or let's call it natural, they don't have much joy in this artificial land, so to speak. So two would need to be separated, and they will be placed in different realities. That's how you would have relocation. This is a real thing, and if you don't think this is going to happen in your current lifetime, so you have plenty of time, well, don't be so sure. Because whatever is happening on the planet is causing the nature to react in a very fast pace. So don't disregard these times. Of course, if we allow the planet to do her thing, it would take longer. But if there is interference in the sense of somebody pushing for war, and globally that's what people quote-unquote prophesy and that's what they want, then it will get a global consensus, and then we can't be surprised if this actually happens. That means that the timelines are not set by time. It is about vibrationally what people reach. And we have this separation. And not everyone who says they want happy reality is actually living it. Many people are being distracted by unnecessary suffering. You cause your body, your emotion, your psyche to suffer by watching this projection. Always think of the intention, and if it matches with your intention. If the intention is demise, does it match yours? If you want life, then don't get attached to it. This is why we have free will on this planet. Free will on this plane, because everything is presented to us and it is up to us to choose. So in order to know what you are truly choosing, just observe how your day goes, how your mind thinks, what your body wants throughout the day. Does it ask for emotional eating, the foods for emotional satisfaction? Then this is not divine. Are you seeking to be approved by others? Then this is not divine. Do you like to be abused, to be pushed around? This is not divine. Are you okay being authentic, being yourself? The true divine you, that's divine. Are you okay learning how to do things yourself, how to figure things out yourself? Do you have patience to connect the dots, to put the pieces of the puzzle together? This is divine. See, the fact that there is no time, and if you're interested in this, divine energy will work on your body, that your body will live longer. It will work the way that your knowledge, your understanding will continue. You're not going to lose it. So if you are really truly wanting to preserve the real you, it will be granted. It is written there, I think Paul wrote it too. In the twinkle of an eye we will be changed. This has to do with a rapid vibratory rate speeding up, vibration being sped up so fast in order to change into the light body. If people do a lot of emotional eating, the body will be too dense. It will not be able to handle being changed into the light body. So that's what is called being left behind. It's not like God is saying no to them in that sense. It's just not yet. Because the others move on. So whoever doesn't move on is called left behind. It is not the end. It is relocating, reassigned. Move to where each matches. If you know, let's say Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, they're so gentle. They would only want peace, and this is what they say: do not fear, peace be with you. In their presence, they want people to be open. They want people to be happy and excited for their presence. Just like you, if somebody doesn't like to be in your presence, would you constantly show yourself? No, you wouldn't want to feel that, and you wouldn't want them to feel that. So you would separate from them. You'd wish them the best, but you'd separate from them because you don't want to trigger anybody. The same thing with them. They're not gonna go to those who are not ready. And it works for this event, being changed in the twinkle of an eye. This one is a private journey. And as it says, no one knows the day, the hour, because it's not bound to time. So you can't know the day or the hour. But Jesus said you can sense that it's close. That means do something, right? It's like in that parable with 10 virgins, 5 to have oil in the lamp and 5 to not. Make sure that you have the light. Make sure that you have the knowledge so that you can recognize his voice. This is symbolic, but maybe literal, and maybe both. Anything that is beyond the earth, anything that created the creation, is the all, and that means it's not bound to the third dimensional way. It is the all, it is multi, it is omni. It is not bound to time. So you can have any professor with all kinds of prefixes, scientists with all kinds of prefixes. If they're only first and the most of this system of things, then they will not be the first in the divine system of things, because the divine system of things is the all, the omni, the multi. We're in this world, we're not of this world. So continue expanding. Even within this world, within each country, within each village, above the surface, beneath the surface, realities are different. People who are constantly on social media, they have a virtual reality. They think they know other people. And this assumption is an illusion. You don't know what they are. You are instructed to know who you are. Much that is described in the original texts has to be written in a parable form so that everyone can apply it to their thinking in order to get out of this illusion into the reality. It cannot be written in plain text because everyone lives within their illusion. Everyone is dreaming their dream. It can never be written straight up. But at the same time, when you see it, it becomes very, very obvious. So, narrow-mindedness or expansion, it is always a choice. And this is a big karmic lesson for humanity. Humanity needs to get off the loops they've been involved in. Following, nodding, accepting things as norms when it's constantly being promoted. When something is in the face, it is like programming. Like we train our pets, like we train our sheep and cows. People are also being trained like a herd, and it requires someone to open their eyes to say that they don't want to go with the herd. These are the ones that choose not to, therefore they are called chosen. And the majority would shun them because it's not their accepted norm. So the path is narrow, and it is up to you how you choose it. Christ sees right through, on a multidimensional scale, on a soul level. So all your unconscious and subconscious beliefs are seen daily. Believe it or not, but there is much that is invisible that scans you and it sees you. Because you don't see it, you think that nobody can know your internal system, but they do. And this specific time of this aeon is to be on alert. Because just like divine beings can see right through you, there is also artificiality that is gaining its cleverness in order to read through you. And if it sees you with intention to manipulate you, and if you put it on your third eye, in the place of God's voice, then the outcome would be what it wants you to go. Overall, everyone and everything belongs to God. This is why we have the story of the prodigal son. He will always come back. Some come back earlier, some come back later. But wouldn't it be nice to arrive early, to see, to participate in many happy events versus coming late, still enjoying life, still seeing much, but not experiencing what other souls who came early lived through. So this is the parable of the wedding. Don't be late to the wedding. It has been mixed into the religion and changed into a very surface understanding. But this is for those who tend to not follow the herd. So if you're one of those, I would say congratulations. And keep up with that. Anything that is distracting you from your relationship with God, be the master of it. Don't let it to be a master of you, because then you make it your God. And you have only one, the Creator. So don't turn your back on your Creator. Because God's love, agape, is unconditional, the souls get chance after chance to redeem themselves over and over, over and over. And they will always have a chance. But wouldn't it be nice to explore something new by the end of this system of things? To not be sucked in to the similar, to wait another 1,000 of years or a couple of 1,000 years to reach the same stage again? Because where we are right now, we did that before. We did it many times. Some manage to finally move on, and some just can't because they get too attached to the illusion. An illusion cannot be a reality. So let's read this verse one more time. Close your eyes and see for yourself. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. I hope that you feel God's love every day, and that you learn to not be bound to what you're told day in and day out, and that someday you see the truth of you, and that you would embrace it with love. Thank you very much for being here. Wishing everyone a blessed day. Namaste.